Well, welcome back, folks. Today's going to be the third and last video in the short series of attempting to repair this Suzuki TS50 rear fender. Well, this is the fender right here that you've seen in the previous two videos. You'll notice all the paint's been removed. And the reason it's going to be the last video is this was a complete failure, which I'll go through with you in more detail in a moment, to the point that I'm going to have to find another rear fender to work with. I don't know exactly why this failed, and in all my years of working on these little motorcycles, and this is my 7th complete frame-off restoration I've done, I've never had as an abject failure as this has turned out to be. And again, I really don't know why, but I will share what I have discovered in the process with you, so you'll know why I'm going to move on to a different part and try to repair that if necessary. So let's switch over to an overhead shot, and I'll go through this in a little more detail. Here's the up-close look at the fender, current state. I've identified or outlined in red the major damage. And you can see there's a piece that chipped out here and a piece that chipped out right here. And these are the pieces that just literally, they just crumbled into my hands. And again, I'm not really clear on how or why this happened. I think that one goes something like that. Original, there we go. You can see that there. And there was no repairs done to this section. I didn't do anything to it in terms of repair. And this piece goes up in here, something like that originally. Again, I didn't do anything to repair this either. But as I was let it set for a couple days, and as I was getting ready to continue on with some sanding and filling, I was actually getting ready to move to the body filler, the polyester body filler, to clean up the surface a bit. These pieces just literally, when I picked it up, this fell apart. And as I started to inspect it, I noticed all these other cracks, like I said, in this, you can see outlined here in red. And those are cracked through. Those are not just imperfections in the plastic. They literally, you can see maybe right there, cracked through here, outside of the areas that I have repaired. Here, all of this. Even at the back end, you can see, I don't know if you can see there, and I flex that. It's cracked there. It started to crack here, even though this now is areas that have been repaired there and there. The repairs I thought went pretty well, but this is in such poor shape. I don't know. I'm not going to put any more time into it because I'm just concerned these cracks and flaws and damage are going to propagate, and I'm just not going to invest any more time. It's very unfortunate. I have a lot of time actually into this piece. And it's a mystery to me. I've never had this before when I've done plastic repairs, though I will admit I am not an expert with plastic repairs. I have done a fair amount of it. Nothing this extensive, by the way. Nothing even close. But it's a mystery to me. Now, in retrospect, the only thing I can think of is that the method I used to remove the paint was .3 brake fluid, standard, traditional, old-fashioned brake fluid, which I have used for years, going way back to my model railroader days, to remove paint, usually original factory paint on the model railroad cars and body shells. You use .3 brake fluid, and it effectively removed the paint from the plastic without damaging the underlying material, the plastic itself. And most of those body shells are styrene. This is ABS, but I've also used in the past brake fluid on ABS without any difficulty at all. Not probably to this extent, but I have used brake fluid in the past. So my thinking is possibly, and I have not researched it, maybe someone watching this video knows more than I do about this topic, for some reason the brake fluid damaged the plastic. It made it brittle. Now, if you look in here, you can see right here between my thumbs this bright black piece. That's where the paint was. That's where the paint was removed from. These areas you can see where I sanded. This is all, that gray is from sanding, right? And I did a little sanding underneath here too. But and some of that, as I used media, I blasted with media underneath here, glass beads gently. This looks okay, which was protected by the paint until, of course, I removed it, and seems very normal. So my thinking is perhaps with its exposed areas here and in here, because that's where the fresh damage is, that perhaps the brake fluid affected the plastic, the chemistry of the plastic, and it failed. That's my only thinking that I can come up with, through my thinking I can come up with. And it almost like made it brittle, like hard, very, very brittle. Now, again, my experience with ABS plastic, and I've shared this before, is with age it gets brittle. I have experienced that before, but nothing to this extent. So I think the repairs themselves actually, you know, outside of the damage that resulted around it, the repaired areas, I thought worked quite well, frankly. I thought those are pretty good repairs. I was quite pleased with how this turned out here, because this was all damaged in here and all damaged in here. You can see a little bit of the wire mesh coming through there, which is not a particular problem. And I reshaped all of this, or was in the process of reshaping it. Got the holes resized right, and I thought the repairs went pretty well until I discovered all this further damage. So for that reason, I'm not going to continue with this part. I'm not just going to, you know, invest more time in a part that might, in fact, continue to give me trouble. It's very unfortunate. It wasn't a great part to begin with. I realized that. I shared that, I think, up front, that it had quite a bit of damage. But all of these do that you can find pretty much used, and there actually were, I don't know if they're still out there, NOS Bodywork on eBay recently, which was $399, $299, $399, $399 US dollars. NOS that were apparently sitting on a shelf. Wrong color, wrong model year, but it could be repainted. I'm not going to spend that kind of money for this part. But to find decent, good used ones, they all have, especially back here where the head taillight mounts, get these stress cracks right here. That's very common. Right here, very common. See it all the time. I'm going to have to get back into that somehow and figure out what I'm going to do different. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video, folks. Any comments, questions? I'd be curious about people's thinking regarding the damage that has occurred or appeared, particularly my thinking on the brake fluid and its effect on the chemistry of the plastic. But keep in mind, I've used a brake fluid on ABS plastic before without this kind of an issue. So maybe it was an age factor or a combination. I don't know. Anyway, drop me your thoughts. And as usual, thanks for watching.